I love this quote. In basketball, as in life, true joy comes from being fully present in each and every moment, not just when things are going your way. That comes from a book by legendary NBA coach Phil Jackson. You don't need to be a fan of the NBA or the Chicago Bulls or sports to benefit from the book Sacred Hoops: Spiritual Lessons of a Hardwood Warrior. Author Phil Jackson uses his experience as leading the Bulls to six national championships as a way to share his philosophy of life. Very interesting. Jackson writes about his personal journey to maturity through introspective Zen thinking. He began meditating in his 20s and carried it on through his career as an NBA player and as a coach. Now, he admits to his own vulnerabilities and imperfections while showing how continually reminding himself of this philosophical grounding and how it motivated him to improve. But once he became a coach, he needed to extend his philosophy to others. And in the case of a professional athlete, the challenge of convincing others of his way of thinking proved more challenging. So Jackson set an example for others throughout his career. Now, many fans dismiss some of his accomplishments on the court, given that he had a superstar like Michael Jordan to coach and dominate on the court. Yet the challenges of managing the ego of Jordan and other players like Scottie Pippen and Dennis Rodman serves as an excellent example of how his approach to the game and life kept the team from self-destructing. So here are the five lessons that Jackson shares that I think can be applied to our individual lives as in business as well as on the basketball court. First off, he writes, I've learned that the most effective way to forge a winning team is to call on the players' need to connect with something larger than themselves. Second point, he writes, the trick is to experience each moment with a clear mind and open heart. When you do that, the game and life will take care of itself. So true. Third point, he writes, good teams become great ones when members trust each other enough to surrender the me for the we. Certainly that's applicable to our professional lives. Point number four, he writes, what pollutes the mind in the Buddhist view is our desire to get life to conform to our particular notion of how things should be as opposed to how they are. In the course of everyday life, we spend the majority of our time immersed in our self-centered thoughts. And the thoughts themselves are not the problem. It's our clinging to them and our resistance to what's actually keeping us from success. And finally, point number five, he writes, our whole social structure is built around rewarding winners at the perilous expense of forsaking community and compassion. Think about that one long and hard. I found this book to be a really great read, a fun book to read, and also gave me a lot to think about. It's called Sacred Hoops: Spiritual Lessons of a Hardwood Warrior, and it's by Phil Jackson.